Hey, Rena. Good evening. Rena. There shouldn't be any reason for Rena to come over at this hour. The timing also made me feel uneasy, because it was just as I was about to ask Oshi-san about Rena. I wish I could have chalked this up to mere coincidence. Mere coincidence, there we go. But those unsettling words from Mion several days ago echoed back towards me. There's nothing this old man doesn't know. Are you alone, Rena? Yeah. It seems that Mion wasn't with her, but that didn't change the situation at all. Why did you come here? Hey, Keiji-kun. I'd like you to open the door so we can talk. Can I come inside, I wonder? It was true speaking through the chain door wasn't the right way to talk to a classmate, but at my house the chain has to be on at night. Don't worry about it. Then, it can't be helped, I guess. Rena pouted rather sadly, but she kept smiling at least, and her effort to keep that smile up was quite pitiful. Even though she was tugging at my heartstrings, I didn't lower my guard. As long as I stayed like this, even if it made my heart ache, my life wasn't in danger. What I really feared, more than the possibility that hoodlums would assault me if I removed the chain, was trusting Rena enough to remove the chain and having my friendship betrayed. As long as the chain wasn't unlatched, even if it made my heart ache, I wouldn't have to deal with the being betrayed by Rena. Since it didn't seem like I'd removed the chain from her silent urging, she appeared to give up on trying to get into the entranceway. Have you eaten yet, Keiichi-kun? No, I haven't eaten. Since my mum wasn't here, dinner wouldn't be ready no matter how long I waited. I lay down when I got home and was woken up by the phone. I didn't have the chance to eat since I used all that time talking. I was going to have cup noodles in any case. I could just eat one whenever I wanted to. No, not yet. What about it? Hehehe, then good. Look here. I bought a bunch of dishes. When I held out a stack of boxes wrapped in cloth. If I could use your kitchen, I could heat up the miso soup and other stuff. It's fine, you don't need to do that. But there's a lot of tofu and vegetables in it. Does Keiichi not like that type of stuff? I wonder. There's no way I wouldn't like that. I love miso soup with a lot of ingredients. White radish, carrots, burdock root and potatoes. Dense, fibrous root vegetables. Eat your veggies. Yeah, that miso soup does look incredible. I also bought rice, so if you microwave it, you can eat it really quickly. Without a doubt, rice needs miso soup. Stuffing rice down your gut, sipping down miso soup in between each ravenous bites. Ah yes, how wonderful it is to be born Japanese. I just like the fact that we are getting into the house the easy way through the guy's stomach. Just through the guy's stomach. Also, I made some more pickles. I made sansai pickles this time. Before I had moved to Hinamizawa, I scoffed down the mountain vegetables called sansai. But I was captivated by their charm the first time I tried them. Such a deep yet light flavour. The vegetables from the supermarkets were tasteless and bland compared to these. If you had to describe them, then they were the vegetables for the uninitiated. To become an expert such as myself, you first had to partake in sansai. I like that. It's just like she's getting entry into the house via his stomach. It was common knowledge around here that the Rugu family's traditional pickles were wonderfully delicious. No matter what kind of pickles they were, They go so well with that fluffy white rice. And also, but wait, there's more. So delicious, it just seemed so delicious. Farewell to my unhealthy said. Oh, my unhealthy self, who said he'd make do with cup noodles. Rena appears to be in good spirits, and she was offering such a delicious sounding dinner. The stress evaporated from my gut and hunger reared its ferocious head. At the same time, my wariness of Rena suddenly dwindled. When I did say she was alone, it shouldn't be a problem letting her inside. Though, the possibility that it was later poisoned still hadn't been ruled out. At that moment, a cold chill ran down my spine once again. I couldn't understand why such a sensation had occurred just then. But the voice inside me was sounding the alarm. This happy Rena, speaking of this charming dinner, was dependent on one premise. That premise was that tonight, dinner hadn't been made at my house, meaning it was under the assumption that my mum, who should be making it, wasn't here. At any normal household, 7 o'clock would be around the middle of dinner time. If my mum was here, I'd be eating dinner around this time as well. The fact that she brought over all the market makings of a meal at this time was inherently strange. Unless she knew. Rena, did she? Did she know my parents weren't home? But there was also a chance it was a bluff. I had turned on the lights and a bunch of other stuff to make it seem my parents were here. There was a chance that Rena was unsure if my parents were home. But if I had to wonder, the laundry, the garage, the evening paper, there were plenty of signs of them being hastily tidied up. It was hard to say that Rena didn't have a chance to determine if my parents were here or not, but there was no reason for me to confess that right now. I should try holding on to that fact as long as I could. First of all, the chain was still latched. As long as I didn't take it off, Rena wouldn't be able to do anything to me. I'm quite grateful, but dinner will be ready soon. Will be ready pretty soon. Huh? Is that so? Is that so? I know you went through all the effort and everything, but well, unable to think of a good way to refuse, my words trailed off weakly. But some of this could work as side dishes, I think. Sorry, we have more than enough already. My mum always makes quite a few sides. So... Huh? You have side dishes? With a smile that bordered on a cringe, I dodged her questions apologetically. But the feeling I tried to ignore began creeping up my back again. I spoke as if my mum was settling down for dinner right now, but it didn't mesh well with what Rena was saying. Rena was talking as if she was aware of some obvious fact. That I was aware of it as well. So Keiichi-kun can cook. What did she make, I wonder? No, well, it's not that Rena had assumed out of nowhere that I made the dishes. No, not so much that I made them, but rather that my mum hadn't. Did you really make them? The side dishes? Did you, Keiichi-kun? It wasn't me who made them. My mum did. No, she's making them. Right now. So you see, I'm sorry, but I can't eat what you brought. Rena fell silent at that moment. At that moment, I felt the light had suddenly disappeared from her eyes. How about I try guessing what Keiichi-kun's dinner will be? It doesn't matter what I'm going to eat. Let's see. The conversation might appear natural at first glance, but Rena was firmly in control. I felt like I was being interrogated. Your dinner, I wonder, is it something that can be made with just hot water? Hey, now, just stop with the insults. I can't believe you belittle my mum's extravagant dinner like that. To get sold out full capacity already, it's that amazing. I tried my best to put on a strong front, but I couldn't grit my teeth quite right. So, I looked like someone who was borderline hysterical. But Rena showed no reaction whatsoever, even to that silliness. Keiichi-kun, did your mother really leave you dinner? No, you see, she didn't leave me dinner. She's making it right now. It's almost time for dinner. Rena had taken that assertion of mine that my mother was home and making dinner right now, and was completely ignoring it. Huzzah! I could tell that the more I panicked, the colder Rena became. Hey, Keiichi-kun. At that moment, an uncomfortable chill crept in from the gap in the doorway. Is your mum home? I wonder. I couldn't keep this charade up anymore. Rena, you knew full well that my parents weren't home, but I come too far to admit that now. Anyway, my parents were here, and we were having dinner soon. That was the situation I had concocted. So I answered. I told her she was here. She's here of course. I had the feeling of humidity drying out from the surrounding air. I could feel the humidity drying out from the surrounding air, and his eyes were becoming more frigid, piercing me with their gelid glare. Oh, there we go. Why? What do you mean? I tried acting casual, but that facade was torn off me the instant I looked into Rena's eyes. That look, it informed me of Rena's response faster than she could open her mouth. Why? Have you been lying to me? I wonder. I'm not lying. That's a lie, isn't it? It's not a lie. Oh, okay, now she's shouting. Lies! And a sudden outburst sent a jolt surging through my body. Ren and I were still separated by what few inches that slightly ajar but still chained door could afford. But despite that, I was still being cornered. My house, which I considered a safe haven until now, would become more like a dark alleyway where no one could save me. Shall I get your dinner, Keiichi-kun? Let's see. I knew now that Rena had already known that my parents would not be here tonight. But it was still so strange that it had come to this. Even if she somehow knew that my parents weren't home, there's no way she'll be able to guess what I'd be eating tonight. But Rena said she'd guess. How could she guess it? How could she know that it was instant cup noodles? That's right, isn't it? That I was going to eat. Wait, the cooking repertoire man. The cooking repertoire man who can't do housework is probably nothing but cup noodles after all. Looking at this statistically, it was the most probable answer. Oh, yes. Yes, I could only make instant food apparently. That didn't mean she was guessing. I don't think you'll be full with just noodles. I think having rice and stuff will definitely hit the spot. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. This was just a coincidence. And I was just reading certain tells of mine. But the fact that she was inferring that I was thinking was alarmed. The fact that she was inferring what I was thinking alarmed me. But it wasn't as if she was actually reading my mind. If it was being read, then she was a demon. No, not a demon. Things like that. They couldn't possibly exist. Do you like them? Do you mean noodles? No, just bleep. Rena indicated that the point of my answer was addressing. Rena indicated that the point of my answer was addressing was wrong. Her rebuttal was so short that I momentarily didn't understand the words Rena had spoken. Sorry, Rena. Could you say that? What did you just say right now? Huh? About what? Just now, you asked me if there was something I liked, didn't you? It wasn't long before I regretted how carelessly I pushed forward with that question. It was such a simple answer, that was why I was unable to comprehend it. Pork, bone and ginger flavour. I wonder how I appeared at that moment. My mind went completely blank until the moment I was able to recover. As my field of view began to distort, slowly swirling in a counterclockwise direction, I lost all sense of balance. Why do you know that? I didn't even deny it. That was the type of frenzied state I was in. How could Rena even know this? Not even caring as I smashed my head against the door, I fixated my gaze onto Rena. But she didn't even flinch when she saw me do that. I certainly did buy them. I bought a bunch at once. I bought a whole case. How did you know all that? Why, I wonder? Quite strange, isn't it? Isn't it? How could you dodge the question at a time like this? The chain and the door suddenly were no longer protecting me. How do you know? Why do you know? Answer me. You bought them at the 7th Mart, didn't you? A shiver ran up my spine. I tried covering up with an angry facade. Like I said, why do you know that? I was behind you, following you the whole time. What are you saying? I couldn't understand why she was saying she'd been following me all this time. That's because Rena was right behind. Keiichi comes back the whole time. Like that night. That night I was absorbed in my phone conversation with Oshi-san. I didn't even sense her being there, standing behind the door, behind me, just there. Just like that. When Keiichi was picking out the noodles, I was watching the entire time, like a creepy ass stalker. You picked out so many different flavours, didn't you? Then your mum got angry. If you were going to pick the expensive ones, then you should just pick one type, she said. Then Keiichi picked out that big box of pork bone and ginger flavour that he loved so much, didn't he? I like it too. Pork bone noodles. But I never would eat a whole bowl to myself. My brain was paralysed, dulling my senses. It might have been a defense mechanism to diminish the fear I was feeling to non-traumatizing levels. With the fear being diminished, the fog enveloping my mind was cleared away. Then I could understand what Rena was saying and started to put meaning behind her words. Even so, my fear hadn't subsided completely. It was like I was standing at the edge of a cliff, eyes closed so I didn't have to look down. It didn't actually solve any of the basic problems. I was like, why am I standing here? I slowly took a step backwards. As I withdrew, Rena advanced. So, Keiichi-kun, can you open this? We can eat dinner together. I'm sure it's going to be delicious, so, okay? Rena's pale, slender fingers squirmed through the crack in the door, one at a time, as if they had a mind of their own, rattling the chain. If she unlatched the chain from the door, a feeling of terror would have just exploded within me. But Rena didn't do that. She was simply imploring me to remove the chain. She was doing her hardest to light the fuse to the powder keg in my heart. Trying again and again. Hearing clatter sounds. Anyway, but it doesn't light. It doesn't light. Open up, Keiichi-kun. But please, go away. I beg you. Please, go away. How can you say something so mean? I wonder. Please, go away. Go away. Go away. The powder keg inside me finally went off. No smouldering. It just exploded. Oh, okay. I tackled the door. The force through the door had knocked Rena momentarily off balance. I couldn't hesitate here. I grabbed onto the doorknob with both hands, planted my feet firmly, and pulled with all my might. For that slamming sound I so desired didn't happen. I could feel a tiny disturbing bit of resistance keeping the door from closing. The source of that was Rena's fingers. Each of those fingers were wriggling, squirming around like the tendrils of a carnivorous plant through the crack in the doorway. It hurts, Keiichi-kun, it hurts. It wasn't a harsh shriek, but more of a yelp she was trying to keep back. Go away, go away, go away! I kept on pulling on the door with all my might. I didn't even realise that I didn't loosen my pull on the door, at least momentarily. Rena wouldn't be able to pull her fingers out, and that was why the door wasn't closing. It really hurts, Keiichi-kun. I'm sorry if I was messing around too much. I didn't care one bit for her apology. No matter how much she apologised, it didn't change any of that she had done until now. It didn't change anything. It hurt. I'm sorry. Go away. Rena couldn't even leave if she wanted to because I trapped her fingers. Rena's white fingers had come deep red and were no longer even squirming. I'm sorry. Go away. I'm sorry. Rena's apologies were occasionally twisted with pain, but like a broken record, she was intent on repeating it over and over. Go away. Stop it. I pulled on the door even harder. Finally, Rena's fingers were able to slip out of their imprisonment in the doorway. The moment that happened, the door closed soundly, and I could hear the thud of Rena falling on her butt on the other side. I locked the door immediately. I made a loud clump, voicing my rejection to Rena. I'm sorry. Keiichi-kun, I'm sorry. Open up, Keiichi-kun. Rena leaned against the door, apologising profusely and nothing else. After confirming that I was sufficiently sealed off from her, I trudged away from the entryway. On the other side, I could still hear Rena echoing her apology. I'm sorry. Those pitiful words, they would be forever seeking my forgiveness. I didn't feel bad about this at all. But that wasn't out of any sort of malice. I just felt a sort of hazy relief that I was able to escape from Rena. Before, Mion had threatened me at this doorway, saying there was nothing she didn't know. And just now, at the same place, Rena told me the same thing. My feeble attempt to disguise the fact my parents went home had served no purpose from the start. I should have just pretended to be out and not even opened the door. My meager plans didn't help me at all. In Hinamizawa, it was impossible to outwit them. Even though I was on the other side of the door, I wanted to get as far away from Rena as possible. 1 step, 2 steps, with each one, her snivelling apologies became more distant. I sprinted up the stairs and dove into my room. As you would expect, I was finally no longer able to hear Rena repeating her endless apology. Diving into her bed, I was startled by the hard lump I felt. There was something in my bed. It was the receiver. I finally remembered. I was in the middle of a call with Oshi-san. Looking at the clock, apparently not much time had passed since I went downstairs. Could it be that my clock had run out of batteries? I talked with Rena for so long. How did almost no time pass? But the hand on the clock was ticking forward 1 second every second, as usual, as the clock usually does. I put the still warm receiver to my ear. Time, which felt frozen, began moving once again. Hello, Oshi-san? Sorry to keep you waiting. No, not at all. I didn't wait that long. It became apparent that the amount of time that had passed between myself and Oshi-san was different. Over the phone, I could hear an energetic voice of a sports program or something. It drove home just how far away Oshi-san really was. Rena just came now. Did she come to play? I wasn't confident I could coherently explain the situation to Oshi-san, but I didn't need to right now. Right now, I needed to know about Rena. That's right. I was planning to ask Oshi-san more about Rena, but Rena's little visit had interrupted the conversation. What was true and what was false? I couldn't tell. The one thing I knew was the single grim reality that Rena was suspicious. I might be able to figure out something if I asked Oshi-san about her. Up until now, I had regretted it whenever I forced myself to ask about things I was better off not knowing, but looking at it this way, you could say I'd hit the rock bottom. There was no possible way I could feel any more regret than I did now. No, rather, I wanted to know if there was anything beyond this I would regret more. Forget about tomorrow. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility for something to happen tonight. I wanted to know everything I could. I was absolutely not going to die like this. Not without knowing anything. I definitely won't. Regarding Rena Ruga-san, I did a bit of digging. It wasn't much. I understand that Oshi-san was talking in circles. A bit meant I dug deep. It'll be hard to discuss with you since you're her friend. I want to know everything from your research. I don't think you'll be very interested in what I have to say though, Oshi-san. I spoke as calmly as possible to Oshi-san, who was continuing to avoid the issue. And then I said it. I think Rena Ruga is suspicious. Even if the past incidents were from Oyashiro-sama's curse, Rena Ruga is involved. Do you have some sort of proof that makes you believe Rena-san is suspicious? The manner in which Oshi-san spoke became very firm. Do you have some sort of proof? That was him talking out like as a detective. I only have circumstantial evidence. I see. I could tell even over the phone how disappointed Oshi-san was. Pulling on the fishing line when he only felt a bite, only to reel in the bait. Disappointed, but ready to cast the line once more. That's how it seemed. Oshi-san, can't you do anything without physical? You can't do anything without physical proof, can you? What I meant was, you can't come and save me without proof. I stuck that barb in there. As Oshi-san loved turnabout ways of saying things, he understood me just fine. It's fine, my Bara-san. I'll protect you. That was not the least bit reassuring. Oshi-san was just using me to continue his investigation. I was just going to get killed, and my corpse would be an important piece of evidence that was all I was to him. Whether I'm alive or dead may be no concern to your investigation, but it'll all be over for me when I die. Oshi-san went silent on the other end of the line. That may have been too blunt, but I didn't care. All I needed to relate to Oshi-san was that I was currently in a very dangerous position. So, please tell me. Tell me about Rena. I thought she transferred out. Not too far in the future, I'd probably also do what Rena called transferring out as well. But you won't be able to find my corpse. You haven't even been able to find Satoshi's body yet. Alright, Maibara-san, please calm down. I was already suppressing my agitation, even without Oshi-san having to tell me. It wouldn't solve anything if I continued to scream with my mistrusted people. It would seem that I would only depend on myself and that Satoshi left behind to protect myself. Then at least I at least wanted to know about what happened for Rena transferred schools. You are aware that this will be interesting, right? Oji-san, realizing my resolve couldn't be swayed, finally caved. Right now, to me there is nothing that I'll find uninteresting. Please. There are a few things I need you to agree to. Okay, please keep this confidential. Also, this is part may be speculation. Not all of it may be true. Are you still interested? It might not be true. I don't understand what you mean. There isn't one main investigation for the mysterious chains of deaths in Hinamizawa. Each one is treated as its own individual case. Thus, Renaruga has never been linked to any of the investigations. Basically, you see, this isn't an investigation of Rena done by the police, and it's a personal inquiry, is what you're telling me? This will make things a lot quicker since you understand. All of it is either from phone calls or meetings and interviews. So they aren't collaborated. I'm asking you to take this all with a grain of salt is what I mean. Do we have an agreement? All of it is just from what you heard. Yes, my apologies. This is all my personal investigation, you see. That thing. Before, you said you saw Rena's chart, didn't you? I'm sure I heard you say that. Oshi-san paused for a moment on the other end of the line. I told you that too. Please pretend you didn't hear about that. I didn't care about Oshi-san having certain obligations and responsibilities. I also didn't care if there was no proof. Even if they were just rumours, there's no smoke without fire after all. Please tell me, Oshi-san. Understood. Oshi-san finally opened those tight lips of his. It seemed that Rena lived in Hinamizawa a long time ago. She had moved to Ibaraki Prefecture after she finished elementary school. Then following that, right after transferring, the unfortunate incident of the breaking of the school windows happened. Then Rena confided to the doctor, Iwato Yashiro-sama. This was all that he knew. There isn't much difference between what I know and what you know, Maibara-san. Then what part did you investigate further? I didn't need to ask. It was the incident that happened just after she transferred. The incident Rena was responsible for and what she divulged to the doctor afterwards, correct? Yes. After you learnt about that, you started suspecting Rena and the others, didn't you? Yes, I did suspect them. So, they're the ones after all? No, that's not what I meant by suspect them. Oshi-san was the type of person to say things with confidence, but these particular words were less than reassuring. Then, who did you suspect? That it was Oyashiro-sama. Huh? That Oyashiro-sama's curse really exists. Yeah, right, well, Oshi-san's laugh was quite dry, certainly not the kind that would make you want to join in. Oshi-san resumed the conversation about the dubious circumstances behind Satoshi's disappearance and the course of events up until the start of delving into Rena's past. Just then, there was thunder in the distance and heavy rain started pouring down. It came without warning, Rain so heavy it felt like it could beat you down. I left the window in my room open a crack to let the heat out. The violent wind danced into my room, making the curtains flap wildly. What is it? Ah, nothing. It suddenly started raining heavily. Sorry, please continue. I got up while still on the phone and closed the window. I said at the beginning it was an incident, but because neither the school nor the victims filed charges, the police were never involved. Though you see, those involved were very reluctant to talk. Regardless of there being a victim who had one eye beaten so badly that it had permanent damage. Wow, that's a horrible, horrible thing to happen to them. It could have been the school or possibly some individual who made arrangements to keep this from going public. Also, the psychologist was very strict about their professional ethics. Hello? Maibara-san? Can you hear me? There was a figure of a person standing by the light near the mailbox this whole time. Even in this torrential rain, they didn't have an umbrella. They were unquestionably drenched from head to toe. In this shower, which resembled a waterfall, droplets of water dripped down from her hair. Standing there, both arms dangling at her side. In one hand was a stack of boxes wrapped in cloth. Her eyes focused on my room, focused on me as I was about to close the window. Her mouth was methodical repeating a chewing motion. It was as if she had something hard to chew in her mouth, with her cheeks puffing out. What could she be eating over there? Could it be that at this time I was more enthralled by Rena instead of the shocking developments being brought to light by Oshi-san? If it hadn't started raining, I wouldn't have gone to the window. Then I wouldn't have noticed Rena, nor would I have noticed that. Rena's mouth was moving in the same pattern. She wasn't eating something. She was repeating something. What was it? What was she repeating? To me? What was she saying? Why was I, right up against the window, fixated on her? Hello? Maibara-san? Can you hear me? Hello? I'm sorry. Huh? Maibara-san? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Hello? Maibara-san? What's the matter? Even in this torrential downpour, Rena was still apologizing. The other self inside me drew the curtains hesitantly with my right hand, blocking my view of the outside. Even doing that, Rena's relentless apology still reached my ears. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I forgive you for this, will you forgive me for that? Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, don't have the entire thing. It's gonna be I'm sorry. Okay, no. We have to read it 3 more times then. Damn it. Why did I have to forgive her? I'm the one who wants to be forgiven. What part of me can't you forgive? I won't be killed. If you won't forgive me, then I won't forgive you either. I won't forgive. I won't forgive. I won't forgive. Won't forgive. Won't forgive. Won't forgive. Won't forgive. Wow, we're repeating this a lot, aren't we? Maibara-san, if you can hear me, then please respond. Hello? Wow, that rain really is coming down. And we're just going to leave Ochi-san hanging, okay? We're just going to leave him hanging. And received tips. Split personality and the 7th Mart. Oh, I've got the achievement Reign of Apologies, and that is such a sad icon for that achievement. Ugh. Save it now. There we go.